Hello everybody, this is Mariana. I'm back to do the Vibes Inside for you. Today it's going to be a new moon reading in the sign of Leo, and I hope you're quite alright out there. I have already pre-shuffled the cards and laid out a spread, and it's actually very beautiful cards here on the table. I feel like maybe I don't know if I could just show you perhaps. I have to turn the camera, so you just have to bear with me about that. But they are very beautiful. So let me just take the camera here and show you the cards here that I have on the table. So here they are. So at the top I have the Messenger of Fire and the Love card. Then I have the Home card and the Angel of Love. And here at the bottom I have the Fool card. So without you getting you too dizzy, so now I'm back here. You can see me again. But you see, first of all, I really feel like I have three cards here that definitely very strongly talks about heart and love and home and being in tune with yourself, being in tune with what you want, what feels right, what is caring and loving and understanding. And I have a big feeling of self-love, actually, of self-love, of choosing yourself. And here's the Fool card, right, that kind of also says just go for it. The Messenger of Fire here is like and it is a new moon in Leo, right? New moons are good for new manifestations. So if you want to manifest something new into your life, this is a good time to do that. It's potent for the next 3 days or so. That's where the new moon is, you could say, clearest. And well, the Messenger of Fire is like a soul determination somehow to, you could say, maybe commit yourself to something. Leo usually has this, and again it is a Messenger of Fire here, right? So there's this go-getter feeling to something, that I'm kind of determined to kind of do this, right? And it's clarified with the Angel of Love here. So the Angel of Love for me is, first of all, she's an angel. And then that in itself is quite light and easy and beautiful, and it's not complicated, it's not forceful, it's not manipulative, there are no mind games, like a straightforward kind of committing to being maybe more self-loving, more honoring of yourself and what you want and what you desire, and being determined also with the Messenger here of Fire to kind of go towards it. So maybe that's what you have on your mind at the moment, right? That you, because this is overall energy, the Messenger of Fire here, that you may have, like it's like it's in your face, you could say. So this may be what you are thinking about, that you want to be taking action towards something, or commit yourself, or devote yourself, or go and get something here. Like you wanna, it's almost like with the Messenger, it's like you have a statement in your forehead, that when people come across you, they can feel it, or they can almost see it on you, that you are determined about something. You have chosen something. You have chosen to look at this further, I want to say, right? It's like she's looking at her heart here. Like she's really wanting to, yeah, looking at, and I want to say for a fire sign to look at their heart, that is maybe not exactly normally what you do necessarily. I think you're very much in tune with your desires and what you want. But this, it's almost like it needs to, the fire needs to kind of circle around the heart, whether it feels right also. So it's not enough that it just looks right. It's almost like it needs to feel right also, right? Didn't I have in the Leo reading, like, it was something like walking in someone else's shoes, trying to do opposite, trying to do the opposite of what you normally would have done. I talked about a Leo trying to walk in the shoes of an Aquarius to see what that's like, like to kind of reverse something. I'm not saying that the new moon here is trying to reverse everything, but there could be like a message also that comes, that even though it is a Leo energy that normally kind of strives for the peak, the top, the most abundant place of something, right? That what does that mean, right? Because you can maybe thrive for like the most prestigious job. It's like in work hierarchy, there are like hierarchies of what we call well-paid jobs and low-paid jobs. So if you are Leo, or you have Leo strong in your chart, or you feel this energy very prominent, the new moon here kind of urges you to go and get something here. It's like, I almost want to say it, of course it could be, right? But it's not enough that it's well paid. Like becoming an engineer, or I don't know, you know, it's not enough if your heart is not in it. Or if when you are in this job, even though it's very well paid, maybe there is a lot of responsibility there. Maybe you work many, many hours. Maybe it's not healing to you, or it's not it's probably giving you a lot of money, you know. But is that all? It's like this angel here is asking, is that all? Is that all that you... It's like there is this question about, and I believe that it is a new moon in Leo, and it's squaring Uranus. So square has this more Mars-like tune to it of wanting to take action and doing something about it. That's Mars-like. And then Uranus is like the awakener that kind of opens our eyes up to see something new, perhaps. Recognize that, wow, that... And again, as I said, maybe a lower paid job is better in the sense that maybe the hours somehow are better for you, the working hours. Maybe the workload is different. So maybe it doesn't seem like the best job, you know? Like according to the science and salary tables and so on, it's not the best job. It's maybe the most awful job, actually, finance-wise, or with regards to finances. But it may be a job that actually, maybe it's not that stiff, you know, like in the business world, you wear suits and tie, and you have to present in a certain way. You always have to be efficient and effective, and It's like a machine. Maybe you figure out a job where you can relax more, right? You can actually relax more and still earn the money or still maintain your life. Again, maybe money is not all here, or status, or again, for Leo, status and image and accomplishment is important, right? And that's why fire normally doesn't stop for the heart, right? Because the fire would go for like the Leo would go for the top, like the most prestigious, here where I can get most spotlight, right? Where I can get most exposure somehow, right? That would be where I will be seen and heard, and but you also have to maintain it. So you have to maintain that power. You have to maintain that efficiency. You have to, and if you feel like you have maybe been in a situation here where we are still in Leo season, right? But we are coming to the end of Leo season, and it's like maybe this Leo season has been extra hard work-wise, So you're kind of thinking if this is the right thing for you. Like can I sustain myself for the next 30 years in this? Or is there maybe something else I need to consider, right? The other two cards, I call them drivers here. It's the love card and the home card. So the love card is it's like this driver that has been maybe building within you for a longer period of time, right? It has been on its way for a time. It drives this forward here. So if you feel this new moon in Leo very strongly, right, that it's like that you need to do something, right, or you need to say something, you have something on your mind, maybe you have something on your heart here that you kind of need to get off your chest, or it can be a new it's a determination to do something here. And the messenger could be something you are communicating, or it feels like some kind of urge. And there is an urge here, because this love card, it wants to drive us more towards something that feels good, right? It has to be in alignment with more for you, right? Yeah, it has to be in alignment with more for you, not just fame, status, money, prestige, or the feeling of that I'm better than, that I'm somehow better than because I have this job, or I'm well paid, I have created this position in society, people know me for this, like I have built some kind of reputation somehow, that is fine, but it's like there's more, right? The love card here talks about oneness, becoming more one with yourself. It's a healing card. Usually we have this feeling that we are separated from something, that and as I said, the Leo would strive for the money, would strive for the power, the prestige, the spotlight, because they feel somehow that will make them whole. That when I stand in that spotlight, then I feel okay. That's what they could be driven by, right? But the oneness card here says something else here. It says, in all of life, there is only the illusion of separation. In fact, we are all reflections of one another. When I make choices, I tend to see things as either or. What if every choice I make is about an experience, a sharing, and an exploring? When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me. Spirit loves me unconditionally, and I can give and receive abundant love. So I feel like this is a card that also says that the goal is not the main focus, right? The goal is not the main focus. The journeying, the exploring, the understanding, the trying something new is all there to be understood. So maybe you are trying a new job simply to understand and explore it, to maybe find out that there are new ways of doing something. And I'm actually working in this low-paid job, but people are nice here. Like they're really, they care for each other, and I don't need to wear this stiff tie. I don't need to achieve all the time. I can, it's a different world. So I'm attending a different world in the same world that I've been in all the time. You know, like every time we change our view about something, and then we go out in the world with that view, it's like you explore the world again. You can go to the same work situation, but because you've changed your mind about something, it's like, you know, like when you start a new job, you are enthusiastic, you find it beautiful. Yay, I'm going to start, this is going to be beautiful career, and I can see like the future ahead of me. It's going to be great, and I love it. I love everything about it. Falling totally in love with your colleagues, and everything is just beautiful. Until the day where your boss makes some kind of cut or a critique of something that really hurts you somehow. Now suddenly, because you're changing your perspective about something, you suddenly don't see the boss in the same light. Maybe you start to become a little more not that happy about that job anymore. Your loyalty, your enthusiasm is maybe lost. You decide to look for a new job because something happened that changed your mind. Right? Something happened that changed your mind. And because that happened, it's like the love disappeared, right? The feeling of that I belong here. This is a good place. It's a nice place for me, comfortable or purposeful or meaningful job or existence for me. Then when you start second guessing that, it's because something is wrong, right? I want to say with all these heart and love cards here, it feels very much like that there is an opening right now to look for something that is meaningful, something that feels from a deeper point inside you, that it should resonate on a deeper level. It's not enough to just that it may give you a sense of money. It's not enough that there has to be purpose. There has to be some kind of meaningfulness to something here. And because there are these very strong, I want to say love vibes actually, or self-caring, self-honoring kind of vibes to this new moon here, it's like it's urging you to move forward with new, like with a new you somehow. It urges you to listen. Yeah, it's like it's urging you to listen to Uranus, right? Uranus is also associated with Aquarius. And I said in the Leo reading that it's like there is this urge to have a look at something more. If you take a look at my Aquarius reading this time around, I speak about how Aquarius is somehow a defender of something. That's why they, and if, again, it's so interesting with Leo and Aquarius energy, because Leo can be highly materialistic. It's so important to have like physical manifestation and proof of your success, right? Where Aquarius, they can live on a stone. Like, they don't need much. They wear second-hand clothes. They don't care about all this stuff. The suits, the ties, and everything. One of the things they do like to have in that really is a priority for them is the phone, the computer, some kind of technical machines that they are fond of. But then they can, everything else doesn't really matter, right? Their priorities goes with something like very particular things that are kind of not up for debate. Like that has prime status for them. And they will defend that. They will leave their family, they will leave society matrix, they will leave it if it bothers like the core of them. If it bothers the core of them, it's like that's just a line that nobody should cross. It's like they're defending something that it's just, this is not touchable. And if you have met the wall of an Aquarius, you know that it's like you can't get in there. Like they will defend it by all means. And it's just not up for debate. And they are prepared to leave everything. Like if they listen to this core of theirs, they are prepared to leave everything they could otherwise be, like mentally, romantically, socially attached to. If they feel violated in their core, they are prepared to just say, I'm out. Don't treat me like that. They're defending something. And I'm getting more and like closer and closer to this idea that it's a defense of a sense of unconditional love. Like you can treat me in a certain way, but when I feel that there's no love, if there's no love here, no acceptance, that there's no either or, there's only one, or there's only all. Aquarius is a defender of tolerance, of openness. That if you cannot be open to me, even though I'm very different than you, if you cannot tolerate or accept my views, I'm out, right? I don't even want to bother with you. I'm simply leaving, right? It's where Leo would perhaps see this differently. If the matrix asked me to work harder, If the Matrix or my fans or the spotlight or everything asks me to power up and do more, I will do it. Where Aquarius would say, I'm leaving, right? This is the difference. There is no either or, but what is it you are, what is the core of you? What are you defending? Or what are you fighting for? What are you willing to bend? Or are you not willing to bend? If you're not willing to bend, then that would be you're trying to walk in the shoes of Aquarius. And therefore you cannot continue as you used to do, right? It has to be different here. It has to be you, but you in a new approach. The Fool card is an exploration energy. It's the Carpe Diem card. It's the being new, a novice. I am exploring my life new. Because I choose it. Because I choose that. It could be that you are trying to explore life from the viewpoint of love here. There is no right or wrong answer to everything out there. It's like we may ask ourselves this question, why is there evil in this world? Because all we want is good, right? All we deep down want is good and feeling safe and everything. I've talked about this on my channel a lot. It's like this idea that because we are humans, we have a certain understanding about what is good and bad in this world. Everything that threatens us, even to the core of survival, or just to our comfort levels, we view it and put a mark on it as bad. It is bad. And everything that is accommodating us, that is nice and comfortable and good, and it supports us, that we view that and put a mark on it as good. And this is the scanner we have. Every day we scan for good and bad, the either or yes or no, right? We scan for this on a subconscious level. We are doing this all the time because deep down we know that we are humans, we are in a mortal body, we have an infinite life, eventually we are going to die, and so on. And because we have that, we have an amygdala part, the fear center of our brain is always somehow active, and it helps us to scan this environment here where we figure out what's around us. And we walk away from the things we don't like, and we walk towards the things that we do like. But this card tells us a little bit like, maybe there is no either or, right? That you could explore to do something else with an open mind like a child. Again, as I said, if maybe you speak to new people. Like maybe you decide, I'm going to have a conversation with this homeless guy here. Normally you may not do that, right? But let's say you do that, and you find out that this is actually a very beautiful person, right? That they have ended up in this situation, but they have a very pure heart, or they are actually they have lived a very unfortunate life, and they have ended up here, right? But it doesn't mean that they are bad people, right? The point I also want to stress is this, that I feel like you can become more and more aware of what is coming here. I feel like it's the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is here. The fifth dimension is asking us to come home in the sense that we choose what is meaningful and purposeful, as opposed to how can I easily get my money. And I don't care if I manipulate people, I sell them rubbish, but that doesn't matter as long as I earn my money, right? It's like an ownership, like owning up to who you are. That when you take action towards something, it should really be purposeful and meaningful. And it means that you may embark on a new way of existing. Like if you want to go out in the world and you're going to view everything as meaningful. From the point of creation, I believe that this idea that why is there evil in this world? Evil exists here just as everything else. We are humans and we view it as evil because it threatens us, the human existence. When we identify with mostly the human existence and stay in the ego presence, we live in the idea that we live in a linear time and I have a birth and I have a death. And then there's life in between here. And I'm kind of trying to see how far I can come here. And I kind of see if just surviving or getting by or enjoying myself during this journey here. But there will be an end here. That is the human experience. If you dive into the fact that you look for that, and it's third dimensional, if you dive into the fact that what if there is more to this life? That there's something inside me here that is driving a need forward to look for purpose. It's like the heart is calling you. She's pointing to it here also. Something within you is like it's calling you home here. It's calling you home. And this could have been a driver that, like it came from nothing and then it kind of started to appear in your life. You may have felt like something was off or couldn't really figure out, and then it becomes more and more. It drives forward that you see contact to the real you here. The real you. Diving deeper into who you really are. So what does that mean? It means that you have an ego existence and then you have a layer under that. There is a layer deeper within, deeper in you, that is your real home here. So when you come in touch with that one, you will realize that you are maybe not just a human person existing only in this lifetime. You are soul. This is the soul here. So the soul is, again, it's a driver card here. The soul is calling something forward here in us during this new moon here. Right? To look closer at our heart, who you actually are, the real you here. And the real you may actually be someone who wants something kind, wants something beautiful, wants love in their life. Maybe you are taking action and telling someone here about your feeling of love for someone. That could be what the messenger is also about, but I feel it's very much a devotion to Like when I want to commit myself, or when I want to devote myself, or communicate or interact with something here, it must somehow feel meaningful for me, purposeful. When I go out in the world, I will encounter stuff. The point is how you are reacting to it. Again, if you're looking at it, oh, this is evil. This is evil, it's demonic, and it must disappear from this world. If everything is created out of infinite love, there can be no such thing as evil or good even. It just is. But because when you are very much in the human form, we identify still as an animal. The amygdala and our reptile brain is very active on the survival things, and we scan and all this stuff here. So if you identify with very much your ego, your name, your what you have created in this life, that you are part of your family, right? You belong to a certain group of family members. You have such and such friends. These are my hobbies. If you identify with that ego, human existence, you live in the third dimension. You haven't discovered this yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's what it is. And you believe you have this linear life and you will die at some point. This new moon is opening up for the experience that there's more. That there's more. If you can twist your mind to the fact that you are not just a human existence, you're not just a human ego, you are a big, big, big soul, and you've been here many, many times before. What you are experiencing here is, you could say, we are a soul incarnated in a human body, having a human experience, but that's what it is. That the soul is here to learn something. And therefore, everything you encounter in your life is neither good or bad. It's an experience. And this is what the love card talks about. We should see life more as an experience. Every time there is an incarnation, you're adding something to the Akashic records. You've learned something. You know, like you take an experience with you out of this lifetime. You take that experience with you as a soul. Oh, I learned something. I encountered something. It had an impression on me. And I had to figure out what that was. If we stay in the ego human existence, we are fearful. We live in scarcity, poverty consciousness. We are scanning all the time. We are aware of fear factors. You know, like, and look over the shoulders. Some people do not that much, and some do it all the time. This is an invitation to take a look at you being more. And that the path you have taken and the things you have dealt with, like the circumstances or speed bumps that was put in front of you to deal with, how did you deal with it? What was your reaction to it? Did you react out of the human consciousness, fear-based anxiety, becoming you know, frightened, becoming dimming yourself? Or did you say, this is happening in my life and I don't want it to rule my life, right? I have experienced this. I will conquer this and I will get on with my life. Because I have plans, right? I have plans. So it's very much also an invitation to have a look at how you are reacting to life. Are you reacting out of a fear-based, limited lifetime span? Or are you reacting out of the idea that, yeah, I'm having a human experience now, but that's what it is. It's an experience. So whether you lose a loved one, whether you get in a car accident, whether you, and I get it, like it really, I get it. The first time I encountered it, I kind of just shook my head and kind of, no, but that's, if you have felt pain in your body, like if you have felt overwhelming pain due to some kind of accident or something, it's not that easy to say, but I'm just a soul having a human experience. This is fine, right? Because it hurts like hell, right? And it's like your brain can't seem to shut that pain off. But this seems a little bit like an invitation to kind of try to, right? Kind of try to view experiences around you or with you with a more loving or understanding perspective. If you are able to do that, you raise your vibration. That every time evil happens, what we call evil happens, it's an expression of something. Someone did something. Maybe they did something to you. And you can have a reaction to it, right? If you curse it, you lower your vibration. Of course, you can have a reaction. That would be normal to have a reaction, right? But one thing that is very interesting is that when you look at these gurus from India, what they are doing is actually not reacting. They put themselves right in the middle of good or bad, and they just stay there. They stay in this, I'm not judging. Like a judging is also a lower vibrational state, where love is a more all-acceptant, more tolerant kind of understanding of everything. When you can stand in the middle, like these gurus there, right? It's like, I even said that, I believe, in the Aquarius reading, a guru that just sits there in meditation, right? Or who has done this for many, many years. If a bomb is going off beside them, they may look at it, but they're not reacting to it. Where others go in panic and, because a guru knows that I'm having a human experience, but it doesn't mean that I am losing my faith. I don't want that to take my peace away. Like my core here cannot be disrupted by this. right? This is happening outside of me. I decide whether I take it in here and it erupts or changes something within me. So when people are reacting to the bomb and everything, the blow up, you are allowing something outside of yourself to disturb your peace. And this is what I mean, that it's like there is an invitation to go towards the things or see the world differently, that from now on you take action towards something that is meaningful, purposeful. Or when something happens outside of you, you decide to stay in a certain vibration. Because if you can stay in your faith, if you can stay in your love, everything outside you doesn't have that effect on you. You're protecting your core somehow. Or you're just standing in that light. You're deciding that it cannot be influenced, it cannot be invaded. That is a very powerful way of like walking through life then. That I can go out here now. And because I cannot be invaded, or I cannot be killed, I'm not unsafe. I'm not, the world is not like evil or bad or something. You decide to walk in faith here. This is walking in faith, I would say. It's because you realize you are soul here. And when you are soul, you are infinite. There is no such thing as the beginning and the end. You are here to learn something, to figure something out, to understand something, to add something to your Akashic records. You're here to grow as a soul. You have a human experience. The things you have experienced that may have been traumatizing at some point, if it was traumatizing, it's because you were in the human existence. You got spooked because it did something to your core. But if you can tell yourself, but it doesn't matter, right? I am infinite being. I'm here to learn something. What happened there? I see, okay, it wanted to test me. It wanted to test my faith. It wanted to test if I could stay in my faith here, if I could stay in my grace, if I can stay in my power somehow. And a shift between the animalistic living, the animalistic part of living, and the more soul angelic kind of living. It's like it's two different versions. Like you live. It's two different ways of how our brain is working. But I get it. I really get it. And if you are just, what? I think that we are invited to just think about it. Just think about it, right? Think about it. There can be things in this life that if you approach it differently, it may reveal something for you, right? It may reveal that you can stay untouched by like things that happened there. That it's not changing your core, that you keep your core intact. That's what I feel like Aquarius is really prepared to do, that they keep their core intact. They are fighting for it, defending it, and they are willing to leave if you put like something unloving in front of me, something that is not tolerable, something that tries to fix me, change me, do something about me. Aquarius just says, back off, I'm out. Right? That it's like a defender of something really, it's very primal, and it's very core, and it's very fixed somehow, right? It's not supposed to be changed. And I feel like the invitation here is really to become aware of that. Like she's wearing this crown of candles, like, what's she called? It's like, she's called Santa Lucia, right? Santa Lucia was, she was, I believe she was a young girl, probably what we would call a virgin. She was very committed to helping in any way she could. I believe the situation, like the environment situation, was like a dark time of and very, you could say, fearful times in the world. But still she decided to go out in the dark with small portions of food and give it to those in need, and to carry as much as possible with her to distribute to the poor or the homeless or the needy. She decided that she needed to have a little bit of light here so that she could see where she was going, right? So she decided to have this crown of candles here. And you see, what was she doing? She was going into a hostile environment, knowing that she could be found out, she could be arrested, right? She could be taken, but she did it anyway. She was brave and went out there anyway, wanting to change something, wanting to take action on something, wanting to help somehow. She was doing something that was purposeful and meaningful for her, even though that the environment was not supporting this, right? That it was a cold, dark environment, and she still maintained that light. That's why she's called Lucia, right? Luce is about light. Like she is this light bringer in the midst of darkness to those who have kind of fallen into darkness and can't seem to get out. Like she could be this light bringer, right? Like a light bringer with purpose and heart here, right? That she, the purpose and light of her heart here is what even got her out there in the first place. She could have stayed at home, right? She could have stayed at home and just sitting there and taking care of herself and her own, right? But she decided to go out in the wilderness, She decided to go out there where she was actually not very, like she didn't have big muscles and couldn't fight all the soldiers and whatever. She could have been caught, right? I believe the story is something like she used tunnels or something to get from one end of the time to another. And she used these candles to kind of find the way through that tunnel, right? Or like going these back street, small alleys to those who needed her help, right? But doing something that is purposeful, like going into the rural areas or urban areas, and in like providing something, like coming in with some kind of light here, because it's meaningful, right? It's meaningful and purposeful to be of service for those who may need it, right? Not for fame and status. She was not doing this for fame and status. She did it because she was a decent person who cared and had a good heart and wanting to do the right thing. Even if she was risking her own life, right? She was doing it anyways because she was guided by something. She was guided by something bigger, right? Something bigger was guiding her out there. You know, like as I said, if you are visiting a homeless person, you take your time to talk to them, or you give them food or something. I don't know what this is going to be for you. It could be that you, instead of, you know, like just hunting money, you decide, I can use my knowledge here to help others who are in a very like a lower positional or low paid environment, or even homeless or jobless, that I can take some of my power, some of my knowledge and light here, I can shed that on them, right? Because if many people do that, we can actually shift like the balance of the world, right? We can shift and equal out more of the power balance perhaps in the world. And it's like that there is this very strong incoming light codes or something here available at the moment that really is asking us to embrace, awaken it. Uranus wants to awaken us to a different truth, right? It can be cold on the top if you are a business person, right? You know that there's constant competition and you need to perform and perform and perform and keep your level up. Otherwise you sink down and another one peaks, right? Just beside you, they just take the lead then, right? And this constant performing and competition and being the top performer, you know, it only lasts for a while. Every top athlete knows this, right? Every performer knows this, singer. They can keep it up for a while, but you have to like always bring this new perfect hit or a song or something, right? That there is a peak of something and then it can crumble again, right? But if you do something from the heart, from the core, from faith, from believing, from knowing, from love space, without judging, there is no either or, right? If you stand into that, then you go out in the world differently, right? You will even be more brave, perhaps, right? Because you know that somehow I'm not in danger. If I go with what I feel in my heart, I cannot be in danger, right? If I go with like the highest purpose, the highest, most purposeful or meaningful endeavor I can try, this is, I feel like this moon wants us to awaken up to, I feel like being in service, right? Being in service for humanity somehow. So that we can balance out the scales more. And I know people who is all into finances, all into like prestige and spotlight and fame and power, they don't like this. So there can be protest, you know, that there can be stubbornness. The ego will react to this. The ego that lives in this human wants one lifetime existence, it will go against it. Your ego will react to this. Other people's ego will react to this. But I feel it's an invitation. You can go with it. You can try to align yourself with the fifth dimension. You can stay in the third dimension. You can do whatever you want. Your ego will protest this. Your ego existence, because if you go along with the fifth dimension, your ego is slowly but surely just it dissolves. There is no, well, I call myself Mariana, but that's just the human name I was given. This is what people know me by in the human existence, third dimension. But when you align more with the fifth dimension, it's like all this stuff kind of just dissolves. I'm not just that name. I'm not just a woman. I'm more than that, right? I'm more than that. I'm not just a woman. I have a human experience, but I'm not just that. That there's more to me. There's more to you. You can step into that experience as well. Because in the fifth dimension, there is no such thing as safety. It doesn't exist. It's not there. It's a love energy. But I get it. Like most people will probably just, no, this feels uncomfortable, right? Your amygdala, your fear center will react to this and say, no, this can't be. This can't be. That's not how things work. That's not how it is. You will fight this. A part of you will fight this. Because it doesn't make sense that it's not what we have learned, what we have been programmed, what we have been told. And it's also not what life may teach us if you have experienced, like, as I said, enormous amount of pain. I had a back injury once, and that was really painful. And yes, I was very much in the human existence at that point. I couldn't see a way out. It hurt like... So getting out of that and move on with life is like overcoming some of these speed bumps, right? That can be put in front of you and how you are reacting to it. And at that point, I couldn't react in any other way. I wasn't awakened. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see any other way than the animalistic experience. The pain was so big that I could not think of me as a soul. But you see, it's like when you overcome it then and you keep on moving with your life, you can start thinking differently. That maybe that speed bump, maybe that back injury was there to teach me something. What happened? What created that kind of injury? Well, in my case, I know that I was lifting something that was too heavy for me. So what can you learn from that? Don't lift something that is too heavy for you, right? Go around it. Or as Aquarius would say, I'm out. I don't want to lift this. Why do you put something in front of me that is way too heavy for me? Don't do that. I'm out, right? It's like go around it. So when you look at something, it's like, is this kind? Is this loving that is in front of me? Maybe I decide not to interact with it. If people project stuff upon you, you don't have to take it in here, right? You can keep that part of you safe. You can trust that whatever they may bring towards me, if I have this intact here in me, if my soul is here and I'm aware of it, if I keep that this is the most important, that I know that I'm here to learn something. When people say something to me, I don't have to react to it at all. I can get out if I want to. I can just walk away. Even as a child, you can do that. Most children don't think like that. But even as a child, you could leave. You know, like it's... But that's not how we are raised, right? We are highly codependent as children. We can't survive without any form of caretaker. So therefore, we are immediately conditioned to become codependent. In some way codependent. And to become independent means that you have to step out of the codependence. You cannot be codependent and independent at the same time. Not fully, not whole, not one. Like the one in you cannot be in some ways codependent and the others independent. The independence comes from a deeper inner feeling. Here. You have free choice. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying the energy is here. So you can start manifesting something new. You can start manifesting more love in your life, or more, I want to say self-honoring. Like honoring where you are, what you have experienced, what has been there for you. What you also have learned from it. Are you holding on to grudges? Why do you hold on to these grudges? If you do, if you don't, if you have actually managed to let them go, you have grown. And when you grow, you hold more acceptance, you hold more light. And that's what these light codes, these energies that are here, that's what they want. It's like the rays of Earth is going through this transformation. There is this ongoing idea in the spiritual community that there is this rise of the feminine, rise of the love frequency. And we will all feel it. And our ego will protest against it. I think that it's supposed to take us from this animalistic, very dense body experience of the third dimension into the fifth, more light body, less dense experience, right? But that means that we have to let go of clutter and density and programming and fears and all this stuff. And our ego will protest this, right? It will fight against it. Because it's asking it, these energies are asking you to let go of the ego. Let go of this idea that I am Mariana just in this one human experience, that I have to survive here. I have to pay my bills, I have to get money, I have to. All this is just, a soul would just look at it like, why? Like, I'm infinite. Why bother? Why worry? Why sit in all this low vibration? Just enjoy yourself. Look at everything. Have fun. Embrace it. Appreciate the diversity, right? Just, that's what it's asking. That's what the soul would do. The soul would just appreciate everything. Also the so-called evil. It would look at it like, oh, this is an interesting experience. It hurts. It's so different. I feel like I can tap into both energies, right? And that's probably also what this is, right? That we are still in animalistic form, but we can tap into the soul form also, right? And it's kind of what's here. I feel like that you can walk out in the world now with a different viewpoint, right? That's the invitation. You can do this. Take the ticket, right? Allow yourself to go this way. It's like some spiritual people talk about that the split is here now. That the split between the third dimension and the fifth dimension is here now. That you can choose either or. But you just know that it will become more evident. If you choose the third dimension, the human existence, it will become more and more evident. This will become harder. It is it's a choice that is hard. Like staying in the third dimension is tough. It's heavy, it's dense. There is an invitation to go the other way. But whether you take it or not, that's up to you. And your ego will protest it, of course. Your ego has to do with your human experience. Right? It has to do with everything that is earthy and tangible, and your car, your boyfriend, your image, your style, your makeup, your selfies, it's all this world there. It's the existence where you have black and white, duality, good and bad, up and down, well paid, low paid, prestige, non-prestige, all this stuff. This is what I have. I hope this helps somehow, that you can take something from it. I send you my best. Please sit with these energies for a while. Just sit with them. Just listen and feel into it, because it comes with this energy, and that energy is calm. It's peaceful. It's a peace offering. It's loving. It's supportive. It's gentle. So it will not be this bounce that comes in like that. Right? That's what we know about the third dimension. It comes bang like that. That's not the fifth dimension. It's kind, it's calm. You can almost not feel it. That's how kind it is, how gentle it is, how supportive it is. It's not forceful. It would never do something like that. It's not like that. And either your heart will open to it, or it simply won't, I think. Just sit with it. Right? It honors you. It's a self-honoring, self-caring, self-loving, appreciative. Because when you can sit in that feeling, you can appreciate everything there is. And believe me, when I started this channel, I would never have suggested that I could say something like this. I was totally and utterly embedded in the human existence. It is possible to change your life around and have a totally different experience of being here. Okay? I send you my very best. All my blessings for you out there. Take care of yourself. If you want to do manifestations, do so within maybe the next 3 days or so. And try to really be humble and feel into what's right for you, right? What feels right, what's meaningful, purposeful. And Because when it's meaningful and purposeful, it ignites something. It ignites some kind of truth in you. So follow that truth, right? Try to be open to it. That's what I feel like. Love and light from me to you. Bye-bye.